28 miles beyond Land's End, the Isles of Scilly lie low in the Atlantic, and out beyond the last inhabited island, on one of the smallest rocks in one of the most exposed positions in the world, it was necessary to build a lighthouse, the Bishop Rock Light, the last lighthouse of England before America. St Mary's Quay, Isles of Scilly. Another tour of duty begins for Assistant Keeper Roger Semmons, 27 years old, 5 years in the service.
Obviously, I don't want to go, but it's just a natural course of living now. I have a month's leave with my wife and family. I enjoy it. But when the time comes for me to go back, there's no big weepings and I shall divorce you if you go back type of thing. And just try not to think about it.
New recruit Tony McNamara going off onto Bishop for the first time.
All right, Terry, get him on. It's okay now. Ready?
Out on the Light, Assistant Keeper Terry Johns, 13 years service.
Hold it!
The Principal Keeper at Bishop Rock Light, George Williams, 19 years in the service.
Okay, Jay, let's go home, boy.
Mr. George Hicks, local boatman, responsible for handling the relief for the past 20 years. He's known to everyone as G.
Let's go home, G. Okay, skipper.
No, wait!
How do they take us off? Do they winch the stores up first, or else?
No, we got up on the rope first. And this is nothing to worry about. Don't worry about this. But once you get there and look out, you'll say, hell, what a way to go up, you know. But don't worry about it. We're quite safe. What happens is they get the rope from the boat, they get into the harness, and then they say, winch up and just hang on. Up we go. But that's it. There's nothing to worry about. Don't get nervous.
No, ropes don't bother me anyway.
No, that's all right. Let's say if you look up, you'll think to yourself, hell, what a height, you know, but don't worry about it. Just hang on, boy, just hang on.
Up a bit! Well! Alright!
You might get a bit of rough sea coming in, and you're in the back of the boat getting thoroughly drenched, and old G says to you, is it a bit sloppy, boy? That's all he'll say. So no one flustered. And all the way out is getting rougher, rougher, rougher. You're thinking to yourself, Christ, he's going to do it, He will do it. There is never a case when G said, it can be done, and he's wrong. When you first see it, looks just about as big as a thumb, I suppose. Very small indeed, it's stuck on the horizon. And then it just gets nearer and nearer. It gets bigger and bigger. So by the time you're about a quarter mile off, it looks really huge. But after all, it is the biggest lighthouse in the service. And then when you get right underneath it, it looks absolutely huge. I'll admit to you that when I first came to the Bishop, we anchored off the end of the set off there. That was my only time on the job when I had a slight tinge of fear by looking up that height, thinking, Christ, I've got to go up there.
All right, Jay. Wait, when you're ready. Hang on. Right, when they're ready.
Right on! When you're ready! Ah! a 40-foot there. All right.
I'm trying to, but I can't. Tony, this is Mr. Williams. He's the principal keeper.
Hello, Mac. Nice to meet you. Hope you enjoy your stay on board.
Well, the first thought is for the safety of the people on the rope, you see. You daren't leave go, whatever happens. You must look after them, make sure they don't damage themselves once they get into the boat. It's a very precarious operation because you've got to work together with the boatman, you see. They're pulling in as you're letting go. So you have to keep your eyes on the boat all the time, you see.
Well, here we are then in the Bishop Rock. In here we store the ropes and tackle for the landing gear. And under here is the water tank with our fresh water. And that's the pump that we use for pumping it up to the kitchen. Now this is the magazine flat where we keep the detonators and charges for the fog signal. Be careful when you come up these stairs because they become very steep, especially when you're coming downwards. There's the diesel, that's for the generators upstairs. And there's the coke bunker. Here we are then, about halfway up the tower, the kitchen. Most important thing here to remember is the taps. They're not hot and cold, it's rain and fresh. The one on the right is the rainwater. Use the water from that for topping up the copper boiler on the stove. We use coke on the range, and that's kept going all the time for the watchman. There's the RT set. That's our only communication with the shore. So this is where the three of us sleep, and I don't have to remind you about being quiet. Noise carries quite clearly through the tower, especially at night. Now, there's your bunk there, with the locker and drawer underneath where you can keep your personal gear. Right, now this is the sitting room. Bit cramped, as you can see, but it's nice and cosy. We've got a telly. It's mains and battery. So we're all right during the day when the geners are not running. Bookcase, quite a good selection there. Quite interesting, some of those. Lockers, these are our food lockers. And then there's the plaque. Gives us the history of the place when it was first built. Started in 1852 and finished completely in 1886. Quite interesting. The fridges, three of them, one each. They're paraffin. This is yours, so don't forget to keep it topped up. Here's the service room. There's the generators. Bank of batteries there for the RT set. Now, mind your head as you come up the stairs, because here are the water tanks which collect the rainwater off the roof. This is what it's all about. 11 tons of glass and gunmetal. It's floating in a trough of mercury, and the lens is so well balanced that I can pull the whole thing around with one finger.
Perfect, bye. Yes, Max. Well, you had a look around. What do you think? Do you think you like it or no?
Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, well, I'd give you a week, like, and yourself settle in. And any problems? Any questions you want to ask?
I can't think of any now, but when I start doing things, I'll be thinking of plenty.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fag anyway. Work hard enough for the morning. Yeah, so yeah, give you a few days to settle down, and then can't go any snags, see me or the other one there.
15:30. Relief effected by local boat. Coming off, R. Simmons, assistant keeper, and A. McNamara, supernumerary assistant keeper. Staying aboard, S.G. Williams, principal keeper. Putting the light in on the Bishop, quite a simple thing really, I suppose. But again, simple really, if you've been doing it enough years, it becomes simple. You go through the motions without even stopping to think. You know what time the light's got to go in, and so you go upstairs 20 minutes beforehand to prepare for this. And that means putting the meths under the burners. That's to warm the vaporizers up. This takes 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then you must make sure that your IOBs, that's the paraffin and air tanks, which are always in the service room below, these have to be pumped up to the pressure. So on this particular station, it's 70 pounds of air in the tanks, because this is what forces the paraffin up to the light itself. While the meths are warming up the burners, you go down and you pump up your air tanks to the pressure. 5-minute job perhaps, depending on how much it's got to go in. Upstairs again, the sun is probably just gone behind a bank of cloud, and time to take the curtains down. The curtains, of course, are put up every day around the lens to stop the sun's rays from striking through it. Reason being that it could quite easily cause a fire. The lens itself acting as a big magnifying glass, you see. So it's a case of taking the curtains down, folding them up, put them away neatly, and then by this time ready for putting the actual light in. Before you actually light the light, you must have your lens revolving. And having done that and your lens revolving, back to the actual light itself. And this simply entails turning on your micro valve, which lets the paraffin through from the tanks below. Paraffin runs up through the vaporizer, which of course is hot now from the methylated spirit. The paraffin vaporizes, goes up through into the burner head and comes out at the mantle as a vapor. you simply light the vapour and up the light comes. One big white ball of light. Outside temperature 47, inside temperature 55, barometer 28.84, wind direction west, wind speed 7, weather conditions cloudy squalls, Round Island and Penennis lighthouses visible, Flemings and Gunners Buoys invisible.
During duty on the light, every day, 7 days a week, a 24-hour watch is shared between the three keepers. Midnight until 4 in the morning, 4 a.m. to midday, then 4-hour shifts until midnight. A 56-hour week, none of it counting as overtime.
So this might sound a bit, bumptious or big-headed, but being on the Bishop Rock, you feel a slight cut above the other keepers, but probably I'm wrong. There's something a bit more special about the Bishop Rock, because this is the most southwesterly point of the British Isles. After this rock, there is nothing for 3,000 miles. There's nothing to look at to probably the ordinary layman, but well, to myself, it is beautiful. I don't know why, I can't express it in words, but something nice about it, This more so than any other station, really, because of its being so old-fashioned, so antique. Because the equipment on this station, apart from the engines, of course, are very, very old. And this also has a slight fascination for me, that the light which shines through the lens here was seen by the old masters on the old schooners. This also appeals to me. What I see from the mainland, or from the island, should I say, looking towards this place sometimes, the beams going around, I think to myself, hundreds of years ago, old ship's masters saw that very same light from that very same lens, from those very same oil burners.
Time for one of these. Played on the Jimmy Young Show, Monday to Friday.
When it comes to cooking, then it's really each man for himself. That is regards breakfast, teas and suppers. But as we have the maintenance of the station to look after, we work it out that one man stays in the kitchen during the morning to prepare the dinner. So it's his job to supply the vegetables for that day. Each keeper provides his own meat, and we buy the stores ourselves locally. It comes out on the relief boat. This is a way of measuring time. This cook of the day business is a way. You know that you are cook of the day every third day, and so you know you have so many cooks left, and then it will be relief day for you. The pay itself is not quite so much as some people would imagine. My pay out here as a principal keeper is about £29 a week. On top of this, I have a victualling allowance of 63p a day, and my rock allowance of 65p a day, paid to all keepers on rock stations. So this gives me an average of about £45 a week while I'm on station. Come on, Gill. Come on. Come on, then. Come on. Come on, here she is. Come on. That's it. Come on. A bit more. There you are, then. The isolation on these places doesn't worry me. I've always been more or less a loner, as it were, all through my life. I never sort of gone around with the boys in gangs. I've never been one for dancing and things like this. So this sort of life does seem to suit me, as it were.
The sea's always changing. This is a fascination to me. Oh, I conjure up all thoughts in my mind, you know. When the sea's roaring down below, I just lean on the galley rails and listen. I seem to hear like the sea talking to me, you know. There's like angry voices, you know. They'll say, I'm going to hammer you tonight, you know, I'm going to hammer you tonight. But on a very peaceful night, you just say, oh, I'm tired tonight. I don't feel like doing much, you know. And it just lies there and just laps against the side of the tower in a very lazily fashion. I feel secure because I know that this place will never fall down. It has been here for so long. It's taken such a pounding over the last 100 years that the sea could never knock it down.
There is times, of course, when you do feel as though you had to jack the job in and finish with it. Perhaps when you're thinking a bit more than usual of the family at home. Like, and the other day I was laying in my bunk, and I have my own radio, and I had it switched on through the earphones, of course. And these pop songs came up, and the one in particular that the kids was mad on. They've been playing it all the time. And then I thought, well, listening to it, I was sort of transported, as it were, back home for that period. And I thought, then, this is the time when you feel that you're away from them, you want to be with them, like, you know. But he should be showing up now. He knows what the tide's like. Oh yeah, that's him. Yeah,
That's him, right.
Right, that's it then, boy, let's go. Get the gear down. We're off home. That's what we've been waiting for.
Okay, lads, come on.
Well, that's my 2 months done. Relief now, and I'm off ashore for my month's leave. Of course, this doesn't happen every time. You can be waiting at either end. This is what we call overdues. This could be anything from 3 or 4 days, or perhaps a week or more. So instead of just doing the bare 8 weeks, you might do anything from 10 or perhaps 11 weeks all told. Today it's a little bit on the dirty side. Not all that nice, really. G. Hicks, he's our local boatman, does the release for us. Quite good. He's been doing them now for a great number of years. And of course we rely on him for it. It's his decision whether he comes out or not.
I suppose it's easy enough when you're used to it. It may look difficult to somebody that it's a job they're not used to. I mean, there's always a bit of emotion down there. The tide may be running you towards the rock, so you've got to go astern the right time. Make sure that you don't hit the rock. I mean, I probably have hit it once or twice, but not very often. Well, with the amount of sea breaking around over the rock, like, they're only open boats. I mean, you've just got to get one to break right and you're full. And down she would go. So you stay away from broken water if you can. You know, you get a certain amount of excitement sometimes. It looks a bit spectacular sometimes when it is a bit rough. I mean, for people that don't understand, the boat's going up and down and rolling around a bit, they may think they're going to be chucked out, but they're not. I don't look worried because there's no need to be worried. If there was anything to worry about, I wouldn't be out there. I'm not afraid of the sea, but I got a lot of respect for it. Didn't blow that good to be dangling on the end of a rope with a swell rising about 20 feet. They're bouncing up and down. See, sometimes when you're there with a big swell on them, I mean, they come down and hit the boat, and within 2 or 3 seconds they're 20 feet above it. It's a wonder sometimes, you know, that they don't get injured when it's very bad. Well, you got people's lives at stake, so you can't afford to take too many chances. Trinity House don't like losing lightkeepers.
Where do you think you're going?
Well, now then, would you like me to tell you?
No chance.
No chance?
Every chance.
You haven't got much time to think while the relief is going on, of course, getting the men up and the gear down in the boat. But then it's your turn to get in the rope yourself and go down. And this is it. You say, right, now this is the time, we're off.
Righto then, lads.
All of us, Ducky.
Cheerio. Enjoy yourselves.
All of us, mate. Give him a push. That's it. Bye. On your right. On your right. Get that. Yeah.
Provided everything goes all right and you get in the boat, okay, which more often than you do, of course. That's it. How do you do, G? Lovely job, this sort of thing, like, you know, and he casts off his ropes and away he goes.
Hurry up back! Don't be long! One for me!
You get about a quarter mile away from it, and it's a feeling, I've always had this every time. You look back and you say, well, how the devil did you sort of spend 2 months in that? You don't quite understand it, you know, there it is, it's just this great tall tower, as it were. It seems to be no size, and yet you've spent 2 months in it.
Each month, at least one keeper completes his tour of duty, goes ashore, and is replaced. For those remaining, his departure marks the middle of their stay, and for the men arriving, yet another beginning.
Oh, it's good to be back.
With the principal keeper gone ashore, the senior assistant keeper, Terry Johns, is now in charge.
When I'm acting principal keeper, well, I like to think I'm easygoing. You've got to make sure you keep the place clean and tidy and make sure the light and that is working. You've got to have a certain routine or else things won't click, like, you know. The thing I like best about it is you're looking after ships and things like that, and plus the fact that I like doing housework and things like that, you see, keeping things clean and shining brass and things like that. You've got to do all sorts, really. You've got to be able to put your hand to anything. You've got to make sure engines and that work. You've got to be able to do a bit of that. Bit of rope work and things like that. Painting, indoor painting. It's a bit of everything, really, and that's what I like about it.
Roger, time to get up. I'm still sounding for fog. Yeah. Bring up some deads and charges when you come up, alright? Okay, mate, on my way. Cheers.
Occasionally, when it's a wet and dirty, foggy night, and you're operating the fog signal, this I do not like doing. You're up on the lantern all the watch, especially of a middle watch. As I said, it's thick fog or misty rain. You've got to go outside the gallery every 10 minutes and hang up your charges, the rain running off the glazing down the back of your neck. You're feeling thoroughly wet through, cold. This I do not enjoy doing. But it's got to be done. There again, I feel a slight sense of achievement. I think to myself, well, if I hadn't done this, a ship might come in pretty close and hit the rocks. If it hadn't been for me operating that fog signal and warning him that we're here.
Right, Sarah? It has its problems than Dad being away 8 weeks. I think really Sarah Jane should be the eldest, I suppose. She misses her dad awful. Some days she'll just take it naturally that he's gone, and then another day she'll come in and for no reason at all sit down and cry, and you say to her, what's the matter? And she says, oh, 8 weeks is a long time. I do wish Dad was home. The days that he's home seem so much shorter to the days that he's away, actually. Sometimes on a Sunday, our little girls and I walk around the garrison and hope that we can see the bishop. I like to come out here. I feel that you can at least see the bishop, although I can't see my husband. You feel as though he's that bit nearer, really. Bishop's there, you know, and the sea around it is so rough, and it's terrible to think that you've got that stretch of sea between you and the bishop.
Keepers and their families stationed permanently at the bishop live in trim, spacious cottages just outside St Mary's. There's no rent to pay, and heating is free. But for 2/3 of the year, the wives have to put up with their husbands being away. Roger Simmons' wife, Jenny.
I think one of the worst things is Roger missing so much of our little girl growing up. She's 14 months old, and he's only seen her for about 5 months since she's been born.
My wife has often asked me what it's like at Bishop. I try to explain to her, but somehow she doesn't understand. I try to tell her that it's like home to me, but she says your home is here, not on the Bishop, but it isn't really. My home is on the Bishop. After all, I spend 2/3 of the year on the Bishop, so obviously the Bishop is my home. It's got to be.
I think you have to don't mind being on your own, because you are, obviously, for a heck of a long time. I don't think I have any set pattern, really. Just try and keep occupied as best I can. I don't really mind him being out there, but I keep this in my mind all the time, that it's his work, he's got to do it.
Well, it's a home. It's my second home. In the kitchen, in the sitting room, it's got a homely atmosphere. You've got the kettle on the stove just singing as you would at home. Got a nice bit of fire in the cooker as you would at home. So it's got that sort of homely atmosphere in the kitchen. We all live in a little world of our own. The three keepers in a little world of our own. There's nobody else in our little world. There's the three of us. We make our own laws. We keep our own laws. You get to know their likes, their dislikes, their little funny ways, their habits. And you attempt to adjust your life to suit these three. I think you find all keepers do this. They feel the other ones out first. And so eventually you get around to living your life to suit the other two keepers. The other keeper of the other two lives his life to suit those other two. So it ends up that you get a very happy family. To a ordinary keeper on here, there's a smell about it. You say that's the bishop's smell. You get a slight tinge of oil, a ropey smell, an oily smell. Occasionally you get a damp air, you get a little dampish, airish smell. All these smells sort of get together and make one big smell. It was a nice smell, huh?
Yes, it's supposed to be blowing up by all accounts. Once you get the seas up around the gallery, you'll see something then.
Oh, it's a pretty tight there, isn't it?
As long as we don't get one of those bloody great schooners up going to Bishop like it happened here a few years ago.
Oh yeah, what a place that is anyway. Fort Jack's gone down. King out. Yeah, what a thing, eh? Just fancy this off the Bishop, like, say a four-masted schooner, armoured through heavy westerly gale.
I'll have to show you one day, Matt, when we're down on the land in there, where the schooner took out some lumps at the side of the tower down there.
I'll tell you a sight, Matt, to see when you go on the islands. It's the old relief boat in the museum. It's an old rowing boat used to do its place in relief, I think it used to take about 6 hours to get out here.
Yeah, something like that.
So 6 men rowing, it was 6 hours to get out here. You take a whole day to do the relief. Yeah, but just imagine being a keeper, say, when this place was first built, What do you like most of that, did you?
Well, in some ways, I think they was a lot happier than what we are today,
You could be right, Terry. You could be right, mate. You could be right.
Warnings of southwesterly gales in Portland, Plymouth, Biscay.
the last lighthouse of England, and perhaps, too, the last of its kind. Modern lighthouses are sophisticated both in living conditions and machinery. Increasingly, they are automated, unmanned. And for the Bishop, too, there are plans. What has remained the same for nearly 100 years will soon inevitably change.